will run with honey. I am the Easter bunny. You're looking at me funny. My music will make money. You're just an intrusion. Hey, it's my delusion. You're just an illusion. It's my delusion. It's raining nonsense candy. This magic wand is handy. It's all as real as can be. Don't buy those lines you hand me. You're an intrusion. Hey, it's my delusion. You're an illusion. It's my delusion. What's going on, guys? I'm singing you actually a new song for the next Purple Party, which I'm working really hard on. It's all about delusions. You know, I guess I don't know exactly what a delusion means, but I guess when you think that, when you know something and you're sure about it, but it doesn't seem realistic, I guess, to other people. I just feel like we're all in our own bubbles sometimes, and that's kind of what the next Purple Party is about. You tell me that I'm crazy. Your judgments do amaze me, but do they don't faze me. I hear the angels praise me. You're just an intrusion. It's my delusion. You're an illusion. It's my delusion. Yeah, I mean, the idea with that song is kind of like, it's my delusion, okay? I'm enjoying my realities, so just stay out of it and let me enjoy it, which I think is kind of how we are in a lot of ways. And just to let everybody know, I wanted to talk at the beginning of each live stream about a little bit about what the Purple Party is. I don't want people to think it's like a totally political thing. What the Purple Party is about bringing people together. You know, I'm trying to think about the reasons why we're so divided. Politics certainly is a big part of that, but there are other reasons too. And I'm trying to find ways to maybe send a message out to bring us all together. And I think this idea of us all being in our own bubbles is very real and is difficult to deal with. Like, for example, you know, I think, you know, Putin was deluded when he thought that he could just walk into Ukraine and everyone would throw flowers at him and thank him for doing it. That was a delusion with real world consequences. And, you know, for example, some people think that I'm deluded because I believe that we can all come together and be a functioning society again. I think that almost counts as a delusion to a lot of people. But I really believe in it. I believe that we can find a way to respect each other and to be there for each other, even if we have different beliefs. So happy Purple Day, or whatever we're gonna start calling it. This is my my purple drink for the day. Now I'll put it up a little closer. You can get a little bit of a better look at it. Well, you can't really get that good of a look at it. It's a thick, opaque, purpley drink. Any guesses you want to make? You know, let me see. I'll tell you what it is a little bit too. And let me just take 1 minute. I'm going to jump into another song, but I want to pull up the live stream so that I can see you guys and see the comments that you're making, and be there with you. So give me just 1 second to do that. And I hope everybody's kind of getting on right now. Excellent. Hey, and my buddy Matt Wetzel is on there. He's going to call in a little bit, and we're going to pick up where we were before. I hope you like the fish. These aren't going to always be there, but I thought I would bring in some fish. They're one of the props that we were playing with when I was a baby. So yeah, we'll be talking to Matt in a little while. But right now, and if you have any comments or anything, please make them. I'm watching YouTube and other people making comments. I'd rather really talk about what you want to talk about. But let's keep going.
Are you taking requests from the hallway?
Okay, I suppose maybe we have now my mom, who is also a star on the Purple Party, very very popular here. She has just come over and she's looking very blue. She has I'm not asking her to go in front of the camera, but she has a very blue shirt and a very blue cup.
Well, I don't want a very blue song.
No. We can make it anything, any requests.
I want to hear one of the old ones when you first started.
Like when I was playing for cheese or something?
When you were playing, yeah, I want to hear Coffee.
Coffee?
Like all of 13 or 14 when you wrote that.
No,
you still sing it?
No. I was a very young teenager. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, let me give it a shot. All right, that sounds good. Let's give it a shot. And really, any requests, we don't, I've got some ideas, and we're going to talk with Matt in a little bit, but this show is about us getting to know each other better and about interacting, so don't be shy, man. And this is a song I wrote when I was very young. I got my start at coffee shops as a folk singer in mid-Michigan, of all places. And I played at this place called Cafe Venezia downtown. And I would get piped on coffee, man. I remember when I was in high school, my favorite thing to do was to drink a triple espresso, and I would just hold the sugar over like a sugar, just be running down like the sand through the hourglass. And I would drink that sucker, and I'd be ready to sit through a boring day of school, man. So let's see. Here we go. Sugar, do you want cream? Do you want Kahlua and a shot of Jim Beam? No, baby, black will be fine. Said I gotta wake up and I hate the morning time. It's medicine for this man's sleepy mind. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going with the song, but I was just thinking about this little anecdote. I actually don't drink coffee anymore, and it's kind of a funny story. Like, I was feeling really, really bad one time, and I was having all kinds of problems with my stomach. I was just feeling like something was wrong with me, and I was with my grandmother at the time, and my grandmother said, Matt, you need to go see Dr. Wang. What? I mean, my grandmother was a dyed-in-the-wool. She was, very dyed-in-the-wool conservative, always Republican, daughters of the Navy. She was just not the kind of person that you would expect to say, like, you should go see Dr. Wang. Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with being Dr. Wang, but it was Chinese medicine. It surprised me. I'm very interested in Chinese medicine, but it surprised me that my grandmother suggested it. So we go down there and we go to see Dr. Wang, who was a wonderful woman, and she starts putting like suction cups on my back. I don't know if you've ever done it. It's like they give you a purple nurple all over your back, and she starts talking about all these things like, parts of my body are hot and parts of my body are cold. I didn't even know what she's talking about. And then she starts sticking pins all around my belly button, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing to me? And then she looks, so you're sticking the pins in my belly, and then she looks at me and she goes, you know what? You need to stop drinking coffee. I was like, coffee? You can't stop drinking coffee. Cappuccino, espresso, too fancy for me. I don't drink decaf, I don't drink tea, so baby, brew it as thick as paste. Last night I gotta wake up, last night I got laid to waste. It's caffeine time, I don't drink it for the taste. What else turns some luxury into a need? What is a socially acceptable version of speed? What is the water of life on which all the cops feed coffee? I don't want to. Also, I have lots of respect for policemen. They do a very difficult job, and I guess, when I was a teenager, I just, I was quite a wild young man, and with, some of the marijuana laws not being quite reformed that much yet at that point, sometimes there was some animosity, but I just want to say I'm showing love for the men in blue. Yeah, so, when Dr. Wang stuck all those suction cups and those needles in my tummy and then told me not to drink coffee, I was like, whatever, man. I believe in Chinese medicine. I've had it fix a lot of things with me, so I wasn't that. I just thought, like, how can you stick a bunch of needles in me and then tell me that I shouldn't drink coffee and that's going to make me feel better? I don't understand. She said you need to drink oolong tea. So, long story short, about 6 months ago, and this is it was 10 years later, I was having some issues. I wasn't feeling so hot, and I decided to stop drinking coffee. And man, it changed everything, man. I love coffee. It's delicious. I really enjoy it. But for some reason, Dr. Wang knew that it just, like the fire in the water, or the yin and the yang, or something was unright. And she was right, man. So, it's kind of weird to be singing this song. It goes with donuts, it goes with cake, and it's a necessary part of any wake and bake. But baby, alone is fine. Said I gotta wake up and I hate the morning time. It's medicine for this man's sleepy mind. What else makes a blabbermouth out of a yawn? What else kept no dose from catching on? What keeps you frozen to the seat of the John? Coffee. Coffee. Oh, coffee in the morning. Yeah, that was a good request. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. That was good. Keeping things light. We're trying a new system here. We're going to get Matt on the phone here before too long. I want other voices, right? It's always me just talking. And, the difference between this and the Steady Matt Show, when I did the Steady Matt Show, I had like 17 pieces of paper put everywhere. And I was trying to make it look like it was spontaneous, but I put so much planning into it. I drove myself insane for years, and I loved every minute of it, right? But that's not what I want to do here. I want to make sure that this is unscripted, and we don't have any idea what's going to happen. Mom hates coffee. All right, that's fine. And, I knew there was going to be some Wang jokes. There we go. But we want to be, polite to our Asian brothers and sisters. But at the same time, I think it's okay to sometimes make jokes. I remember when I was in Vietnam, and they have a currency called the dong. And when it's something like that, you're just sort of like, I don't know. Should we even bother with the dong jokes? You know what I mean? And, it's a hard time for comedy, man. I'll tell you, I've been trying, I'm just getting into it, and it is incredible how many things it feels like you really can't talk about. But, let's see. I'll tell you what. Oh, nice. What do we got here? Just right on time, man. Right on time. Let's see. Are you there, buddy? Oh, yeah. There he is. Now, I know it's going to probably look a little bit strange, but I'll give you a little shot of my buddy, Matt. Let me get you, I'm going to put you, buddy, somewhere right next to a microphone, so can you say something here? Oh, wait.
Hello, I'm here.
Let me make sure my volume's up. I'm just setting you, dude, right next to a microphone that's slightly off stage, so hopefully, dude, you guys, no, for real, I'm not joking. Matt, now everybody, Matt plays Frank on the Purple Party, but as is true of everybody, our characters are based upon ourselves. You know, they're not. It's fiction. It is definitely fiction. But we try to keep it as real as possible. So, you know, there's a lot of Frank and Matt. He's a really warm, really interesting guy. He's conservative, and he does a lot. He works as a fireman. He does a lot of things. And tonight, I mean, I got to admit, Matt, this is what I want. He had to go do some security work for, you don't mind me saying this, for the Baby Shark. For Baby Shark. How many times did you have to listen to the Baby Shark song?
You want to talk about delusions, okay? So I started a part-time security gig tonight just for a little bit extra cash, you know, and it's at a local...
Hey, Matt, can you turn up your volume at all? Matt, can you turn up your volume at all?
Volume of what?
Your phone or like anything at all? I don't know. But keep going, man. Keep going. So you started the security gig.
There, I turned everything up now. Can you hear me now?
Sounds good.
There we go. So I started this security gig tonight, you know, just for a little bit extra money. It's at a local Playhouse theater. And tonight's show was Baby Shark Live.
Oh, dude.
You want to talk about freaking delusions?
Well, how is that? No. How is that a delusion? How is the Baby Shark? Now, I'm interested in how is the baby? I know it's an annoying song. I've had people sing it to me at gigs all the time. But how do you classify it as a delusion?
Just sitting there watching, you know, I'm like, I should be high on psychedelic mushrooms or something to watch what I'm watching right now, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's hard to say. Yeah, it is true. I mean, I guess it's its own world. I don't know a lot about Baby Sharks, man. I mean, all I know, the one thing I'll tell you when we talk about insanity, the one thing that drives me nuts, though, is hearing, like, I think it would drive me nuts to listen to the Baby Shark song over and over. Do they have other songs, or is it just that one?
Oh, no, there was other songs, the Wheels on the Bus, and all kind of stupid kiddie songs and stuff.
The Wheels on the Bus.
Yeah, don't even start. I heard that one 10 times tonight.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round, and Frank wants to hear a little more. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and it came out again. And the itsy bitsy spider sang Baby Shark again. Sorry, man. I just had to.
Okay. Hey, Matt. Frank's trying to lay off on the booze a little bit, but you're making Frank want to go up on top of the fridge, grab the bottle, start drinking.
No, I can't. It's true though. It drives. It can definitely drive you insane, man. So how is that? How is it? If you don't mind me asking, it's a personal question, but I mean that's part of what we're doing. We're trying to, share ourselves and develop a sense of intimacy about that. How is that going, man? Because how is it like? Are you just trying to chill out right now, or?
Well, I just got home. Probably like when I text you, like 10 till 9. So I'm such a bachelor. I threw 3 microwavable corn dogs in the microwave for about 3 minutes, scarfed them down, threw some French fries in the air fryer for about 5 minutes, scarfed them down. That was my dinner, So that was just
3 microwavable corn dogs, Matt.
Absolutely,
Matt.
Absolutely.
You've got 3 microwavable corn dogs, Matt. Why?
Dude, I haven't ate since 11 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
hungry.
That's true. All I ate today was a couple of things of corn. So anyway, why don't, since we have this going on, and why don't we jump back in, because the audio last time cut out and the stream's going real solid now. I've been working hard on the tech side of things. Let's go back to where we were last time and talk a little bit about it, because people were really interested in it and it kind of fell apart. I mean, so you're really seriously considering dedicating your life to helping people with with mental illness, correct?
Yeah, mental health is something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that's become really important to me, specifically over the past few years. Little backstory about me was I always passionate about mental health? Absolutely not. Because long story short, I didn't have the greatest childhood, and I was pushed through therapy all my childhood life. I grew up with a mentally ill father, and my mom also had some problems. And once I turned 18, I said, forget this shit, it ain't doing nothing for me. So I pick one, fast forward to about age 30-ish. I realized, hey, I got a lot of problems in life. Maybe I should talk to somebody about it. I actually did. I have been going to counseling for 2 years, and I realized it did really help, and it kind of just sparked an interest in me. And I just believe that, I can help other people out there. There's others like me that, that could use the help,
Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it's almost like it reminds me of like when I played music, like when I was younger, I had music kind of put on me, like you should study the baritone horn or something. And then it was almost later when I sought out, music myself that I kind of got more into. Was that when you were younger, did it feel like it was sort of like, oh God, I got to do this? Or were you actually earnest about giving it a shot then? Or did it just seem like, everybody's got I got to do this because...
Oh, hell no. Hell no. When I was younger, I was pushed through it so much, it made me freaking hate it.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's what I was kind of getting at. It can be like that. And it's, what do you think are some of the things that we can do to get, because I mean, we started, this is what we were talking about last week when it got all messed up, but like, because men, it's hard, I think, and again, this is not going to be a perfectly politically correct show. I'm not interested in all that. But it's really difficult, I think, for men to admit, for men to admit their problems and to it just seems like there's so much pressure on men to be tough or to be strong and like don't cry. Not all men, but on a lot of men there can be pressure. You shouldn't cry, you shouldn't show your emotions, you shouldn't have problems. Men don't go through that. That's men are tough, men are strong, men deal with it. You know what I mean? That's kind of like that's sort of what I think about that to a certain degree. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. 100%, you're right. There's such a stigma behind mental health in society, especially men's mental health. The way the world is in society is today, men are taught, just be a man, suck it up, deal with your problems on your own, oh, life sucks, well, quit being such a pussy, No, that's not the answer,
Yeah,
sometimes, I believe the reason that a lot of men don't reach out is because that's the mindset they have, or they have it all. I'm a tough guy, I can handle this, But sometimes when life gets so tough and you can't handle it, and you can't handle it, there is a lot of help out there, and that's the thing about counseling as well. A lot of people they're kind of against counseling because they say, oh, I went to a counselor once or twice and it just wasn't for me. Well, why wasn't it for you? And then they'll list why. I was like, well, okay, we know there's other counselors out there. Just because you tried one and you didn't like them doesn't mean you can't try a second one or even a third one, It took me a minute to find a good counselor, but once I did, it was really helpful.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's actually not to be, that's really the issue. I also, in my family, it's very easy for me to admit, anyone who knows me knows I'm a little unusual mentally. But I've definitely struggled with a lot of things like that, as has my family, and that's one of the things that has really bothered me is sort of like how the access to all that goes, and it's really hard. There's also a crisis currently about just enough people, because the way I look at it is like 5 years ago, I thought I was nuts and like the only nuts person around. I basically thought, I did a number of years ago, I really kind of lost my mind and I really thought I was going to be crazy forever. This is in the past now and over. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I really thought like I was just nuts and I was hearing voices and really out there. And now, it feels to me very much that, like, I know I'm still a little bit out there as a person, but it feels to me like over that period of time, like in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been an incredible shift towards really, really bizarre things going mainstream. And, I know that a lot of it has to do with information and everything like that, but it's also like, I don't know. The reasons, I mean, there's a lot of ways to say different reasons, but the bottom line is that there's a problem. You know what I mean? And that's, the bottom line is that there really is a crisis of people needing that. So, that's why I think it's so noble of you being willing to go out and do it, You reminded me, Matt, of this. You reminded me of this song.
That's the thing.
Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing is like, once people realize that they have a problem, that's I mean, I hate to say it this way, but that's kind of the first step. So many people, you can't help somebody that doesn't want help, unfortunately. Like, I won't go into too much detail, but, just like Frank on the show on the Purple Party, I just went through a divorce. I was married for 2 years. Okay. Through my 2 years of marriage, as soon as I got married, I started counseling because I realized, I got to change. Things have to change, or this is never going to work out. Well, unfortunately, it still didn't end up working out, but it's actually for the better. But that's the biggest thing is, like, you can't help somebody that doesn't want help. And like you said, a lot of people know they're screwed up, but just don't want to do nothing about it.
Yeah, let's do a little music break here, man. You stay on the. But I was thinking of. I had a couple songs. There was one I was thinking of. There's a song I had about I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. But it's an old one I used to play in New York, and I want to freshen it up. But I was thinking about that. What you're just talking about like it sounded too like what you were talking about could apply to mental illness as well as addiction and all that. It's sort of in the same wheelhouse. You know what I mean? That there needs to be an understanding that that you have to admit it yourself. You know what I mean? But you reminded me of this time when I was in San Francisco and I really needed help. And I was really in trouble on a lot of fronts, on the substance front, on the mental illness front, on a lot of fronts. I was really in trouble. I was in my early 20s, just out of college, and I was about to get divorced because I was in terrible shape. And I remember one day I was kicking it with one of the women I was hanging out with, and we were up all night, and then I had to go to work at Whole Foods the next day, and I was thinking to myself, that was one of the times. This song is kind of more about addiction and stuff like that, but it is also was that moment you're talking about when I sort of realized that something had to change. You know what I mean? And because I was on Sunday, it was Sunday, and I thought, well, man, if I just stop partying on Sundays, then my life will get together, which is kind of silly. But anyway, I'm gonna run this we'll do a little music break, then we'll get back to it here. This song's called No More Sundays. Today's the day of rest. You've been up for days. You wanna do some more? Well, buddy, all I can say is no more Sundays. Every Monday looks like she been talking to you. A shower is not sleep, and skin is not gray. No more Sundays. No rest, no food. You superhuman dude. Let me guess, today I get promises, tomorrow I get screwed. No more Sundays, baby. Take a day, get back to being you. The cold that never leaves won't keep the doctor amazed. No more Sundays. Now every once in a while we let something slip, but there's only so long everyone wants to be part of your trip. No more Sundays, babe. Say one of these Mondays they're gonna fire you. I take my advice, work as hard as you play, and no more Sundays. You take my advice, work as hard as you play, and no more Sundays. Now, of course, though, that was a moment of realization, but, it didn't lead to much, you know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing. The funny thing is, again, I'm slipping more into addiction and away from mental illness, but, almost everybody that I've talked to, you go through a lot of different stages. You try a lot of times, you never really hear a story about somebody saying like, yeah, well, I was in terrible shape, so I just went and did this and then it was all better. It typically tends to be people going back and trying again and then slipping up, and it's a whole thing. But that's more about addiction. With mental illness, it can be, it can just be hard sometimes to even be self-aware, though. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like people, that's what I was trying to say about the delusions. And even in today's world, dude, it doesn't even seem like it's clear. We can't really define fact and truth. because we can't define fact and truth, it's almost hard to define crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's like the people that the people that we say, oh, that guy's crazy. Well, he doesn't think that he's crazy. He thinks everyone else is crazy. That's the sort of thing. That's the kind of thing that I'm really trying to get at with the next episode too. Not that we're gonna resolve everything, but just this idea that we're just sort of locked in our own realities. I mean, would you say that that's accurate, or do you have some? Would you say no? I don't. Do you have anything to say on that Matt?
No, everybody has their own delusions in their own mind. Everybody has their own opinions about things and the way that they think things are going to go.
Right.
That's damn true. And as far as like addiction goes, like addiction and mental illness, I think go hand in hand. Because I'll be honest, I struggled with alcoholism, and for quite a while, and that was bringing my mental health down, and stuff like that, So it's
no, that's a serious thing. I mean,
pretty much.
I won't lie, man. And I mean, again, I'm just talking straight here. This is like you're in the living room and we're just chatting. I have a lot of experience personally too with alcoholism and mental illness and all that. Not just myself, but a lot of people I've interacted with, and that's one of my biggest pieces of advice. I'm not against alcohol. I don't think that alcohol is a terrible thing in any way. I think it can be a lot of fun. It can bring people together. It can really soften a tough blow of a day. There's a lot of things to be said for it. But my feeling is, if you are mentally ill, like really suffering from that type of thing, that is probably the worst way to medicate it. You know what I mean? That's sort of like,
absolutely.
That's the thing. I think that honestly, I think there's a lot of other prescription medicines by a doctor, or some weed or something. There's a lot of different ways to try to, it can be a real slippery slope when you're feeling insane and you're feeling in your bubble and you're feeling like nobody understands you and nobody gets it, and then you start pumping it up with, throw a bottle of JD in there, and wow, you know what I mean? Like that really can be. And I mean, but Matt, the funny thing is about you, and of course we're being very honest and we're being very vulnerable here, but I've never thought of you really. The interesting thing is I think everybody looks at me and goes, yeah, Matt's nuts, but I've never really, it's funny, I've never really thought that about you. I know that Frank always has a beer open, and, I understand about, always digging, drinking and beer and stuff, but I always found you to be very rational. Sometimes maybe a little bit. Sometimes maybe a little sad or a little emotional at times. At least when I look at your Facebook stuff and everything like that. But you seem very rational and very, very not crazy to me. But that's the interesting thing too. Like I don't know if you followed Anthony Bourdain. Were you into him?
Who was that?
Anthony Bourdain. Were you into him?
No. Oh, I
yeah.
don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay. He was. Well, it was interesting. He was a very well-known travel writer guy, you know what I mean? And he traveled all over the world and drank and ate, and he was just, a pretty universally liked guy, and everybody thought he had a great life. All he had to do was eat and drink and travel. And then he killed himself, and it was just like a real shock to the world. And that's like recently there's in country music, there was Naomi Judd, I think, took her life. And so, I guess that's the other thing that happens.
Look at Robin Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great example. And these people, you think that everybody has it made and that, everybody's okay. But the truth is that everybody can have a difficult time. You know what I mean? Hey, it reminded me, I want to keep this, I definitely want to keep the show musical too. And I'm really enjoying having you on, Matt, having your perspective. This is a song I wrote speaking about, since we brushed on alcohol a little bit. And this is a song I don't usually play. It's definitely, there's a couple funny ones here. But this one, this is one of my things that the song's about. It's called Lady Alcohol. Again, Mom, you'll be happy too. I wrote this when I was like very young, so this will be an old one. She drinks the diamonds as the acid-flavored love in translucent tumblers on the days. The trembling teenage touching turns the lips to see the pain slowly goes away. You know it goes away now. And when you say you will, you want to. If you stand too still, boy, she gonna laugh at you. Stare in her eyes and you're gonna see, son, you're so afraid. She sees you and she hears you till she lets you feel that she's under your control. Till nothing seems to matter, till she lets you feel you're under her control now. You're under her control, boy. When you say you will, you want to. If you stand too still, boy, she gonna laugh at you. Stare in her eyes and you're gonna see, son, you're so afraid. She's drunk of diamonds, yes, and as they're drinking her, the fingers point into false ways. So, dude, if you don't mind, and again, Matt, you can always tell me.
I love that song.
Oh yeah, it's a good song about addiction. Thank you, man. That's a good. I wrote that when I was. That was not a song I wrote about quitting. That was when I kind of. I was very. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was very into drugs and alcohol at a very young age. Is not the case. Is not the life I live anymore. But when I was 14 or 15 years old, I was really dabbling with things that I shouldn't have been at that age. But you do what you do. And so that was kind of like my song from when I was young, just kind of feeling like it's almost like talking about it, but in a way where it's like you're never gonna get out of it. It's not like the I've gone to AA song. You know what I mean? It's just sort of like recognizing the sort of like because things like I mean alcohol and many other substances are quite seductive. As is, let me say though, as is but I think in a lot of ways one of the reasons that people are so getting into so many different theories and different delusions is because that's also kind of their addictions come in many forms, and it's definitely hard to get control of them sometimes, for sure. What's been your number?
Absolutely, it's addiction is a bitch.
What's been your big? See, for me, when I quit drinking, the hardest thing was the hardest thing about it is socializing. Because that's really difficult. As you've been trying to, I know you've been trying to sort of not like necessarily quit and stop, but like you've been trying to sort of slow, chill out a little bit. Have you? What's been hard for you?
Well, here's the thing. Last year, whenever my wife up and left me, that's when I really got to my lowest of low place, and I turned into 110% alcoholic. Every night at the bar, either if I wasn't at the bar, I was sitting at home, killing a case in 2 days, killing a bottle. And one day I realized this is getting old. This ain't you, man. You gotta do something about it. So fast forward to where I am now. I am in a lot better place mentally. Thankfully, my life is actually looking up for me, and it actually feels good to be legitimately happy.
Oh yeah.
But the hardest thing sometimes, honestly, I'll say is because I still have some buddies that like to go out and party hardcore.
Right.
And the hardest thing for me sometimes is say, nah, man, I got to work tomorrow. Now my girl's coming over. Because I'm a 33, almost 33-year-old guy. I still like to go out and do stuff. But that was the thing is like You know, now that I'm actually back in a relationship again, you know, and I am happy, but it was just changing that mindset. Like, okay, you gotta turn your life around, get back on track here. You know, you're in a relationship, you're not gonna screw this one up, type of thing. You know.
No,
but
women.
I think that was hard as far as whenever buddies would call me like, yeah, well, I'm out at the bar. Like, yeah, I'm good, man. You know.
Yeah, no, but that is my take too. Is that if you are gonna make an enormous step, like anything, like cutting out any type of huge substance use in your life, you've got to fill that time with something else. That's one of the reasons
something
why.
Positive, yeah.
Yeah, like when I was just like, I was one of the wildest partiers in the world, and that was the thing. It takes up all your time. And it's just like, life is great. And then if you choose to try to stop that, the big first thing is like, wow, there are a lot of hours in the day. You know, time just flies by when you're partying. And then like when you're actually, and you know, that's one of the reasons everyone's like, why do you write like 25 songs a week and, you know, try to make all these videos and you're not making any money, or, you know, people don't understand it. It's because that's my way of dealing with my mental illness. Like I have my, you know, my brain I could be drinking a lot or taking pills or doing something like this to sort of quiet it down, but instead I try to channel that sort of million miles an hour schizophrenic brain that I've got, and I try to channel it.
It's a healthy vice.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is just as much a vice though. If somebody told me, that's why I was so interested, you know, it was like so hard for me to give up 52B songs, and why I try so hard with the Purple Party. It's not really to get famous or to get rich or so everybody sees me or to make it very much is to try and create something positive and to try to do a positive change in society. And it's also that I have to kind of do something, you know, like I need to, that's sort of part of my insanity. I just, you know, I can't just sit around or something, or, you know, I need to feel like there's some big purpose to my life, like, you know, not unlike people who are like, you know, I'm the chosen one or whatever. I mean, I don't feel that way, but you understand what I'm saying, you know, like, some people just feel that there's a certain sense of destiny about their life, and, you know, you go, oh God, here we go, listening to their thing again. But, you know, it's the way it is sometimes, you know. I mean, part of me does feel that I'm on like this path of, you know, doing something amazing, and people be like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I don't really care. I like my little delusions and my dreams and the things that I believe. That's what keeps me going, as much as food.
As long as whatever you're doing is healthy, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
You know, as long as it makes you happy, then it makes you happy. You know, it might not make everybody happy. That's not their thing. You know.
Have I ever played you?
That's why I love doing this Purple Party thing, because actually when you first asked me to do it a while ago, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, you know, and it actually has helped me out a lot, you know, and it did help me get through that low point in my life, you know, because it gave me something to do. It gave me something positive to look forward to.
No, that's that's why I do it too. And honestly, I'm extending to the viewer. It really is why I make it too. I make it, first of all, you know, to gratify myself artistically. Sure, that's one aspect of it, and it makes me feel good and busy. But it really is also, it's like the double whammy of it is that we really are trying to do something positive. And I don't think it's something that we fully understand exactly what it is yet. The original idea was a little more narrow of like, you know, let's not fight over politics, but I think it's a much broader concept than that. And, you know, it's more about like the fact that politics shouldn't be the first thing that we think about when we're relating to each other as human beings. You know, there are ways for us to be together, and if we can, like, you and Matt and I probably don't share 100% of our political vision, but we've managed to develop a very strong friendship while we talk about those issues and while we work together. You know, we don't shy away from talking about those things. And, you know, there is a way for us to move forward together. And that's what I think is important, because the reason I think so much about bubbles and delusions, because if we continue on this path of everyone being in their reality, I really think there could be some really dangerous things up ahead. And so I'm hoping that I can bring people together. Yeah, and absolutely. So Matt, what else? I'm probably going to try, I don't want to go like too long and hard each week, you know what I mean? Because we're going to be doing this every week. I'm really excited about this month's Purple Party. I'm shooting it this week. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it's definitely about delusions. And I set Matt up with that. Let's not talk about it because I don't want to surprise everybody, but I set Matt up with some really big challenges.
Really,
you know,
challenging things.
Yeah, he's got some challenging things to do, and we're working together. But we have a crew of about 5 or 10 people. And I'll also say, if any of you watching, because I know there's a lot of views after the fact and everything, if you got this far through the live stream, it probably means you're interested in all this. And if you are, please express that interest. I have a website, steadymat.com. You can leave a message. It's like leaving me an email. I'm always going to be here Tuesday at 9 if I'm not releasing a Purple Party. It's not like we're trying to make a cult or anything. It's not like we're just and I'm not even sure that we will, meet together and all, wear the same clothes. It's not necessarily that kind of thing. But what it is it's for people that want to try to share this vision of the fact that we can come together and that we can love each other.
Exactly.
and that we can do it. Now, Matt,
just to lead into what you were just saying, I just wanted to
sure.
leave with this thought here: don't ever let your past interfere with what you got going on in your present. Your past is just as past. It was a lesson. It's not a life sentence. So quit turning your life lessons into life sentences.
No, I remember you said that. Don't make a life lesson into a life sentence. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No. That was I thought that was very powerful. I remember liking that post that you made, and I really thought that was good. Because I've spent, the funny thing is, Matt, I spent 5 years writing about all my wild, alcoholic, nutty ass travels, and that's what the Steady Matt show was, But that's why I wanted to move forward and do the Purple Party, is because I did feel like, even when you said the first few live streams, I started to tell stories and kind of slip back into it. Now I'm gonna finish this with a story. I don't know if Donna Woods is on there, but she's one of my #1 fans. And I'm gonna let Matt go here in a sec. I'm gonna finish this up with the story she requested. There's nothing wrong with telling stories, There's nothing wrong with telling stories. But I didn't want this live stream, and I don't want what I do to be nothing but rehashing, my wild, insane past. I want what the Purple Party is and what we work on to be representative of who I am now, who is someone who is very different from that guy, and is someone who is really interested in trying to make a positive impact on the world with his music and his work. And Matt, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I could count the number of conservative friends I have that would be willing to engage in a project like this on half of one finger. You know what I mean? It's really, I can't tell you how much it's meant to me for you and I. We built our relationship. It was starting in the Steady Matt show, and we've carried it through. And that really is what's at the heart of the Purple Party. You know what I mean? If Matt and I, and I don't necessarily disagree with him about politics. My mom and Matt probably have a wider gap. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not all the way on one side.
I love your mom to death. I love her. She's like my own mother. But don't get her and I started on politics. Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. It doesn't, but to a certain extent, it doesn't mean that we can never ever talk about them. But we certainly have to, what I think is we need, what I'm trying to get at is that we need to strengthen our society. We need to strengthen the bond we have between us as human beings if we're going to move forward at all. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to do. It's not about arguing about politics. It's not about being a Republican or being a Democrat. It's about saying, I'm interested in moving forward as a unified society in some way, or something like that, and we're figuring it out as we go along. And the more that you as the viewer make comments and ask questions, the easier it will be for all of us to figure it out. Now, Matt, I want to say thanks. I'm going to go ahead. You have anything else to say? Please do, buddy. Well, that's the thing, is like you were saying about politics, just because I don't maybe like what you believe in, or you don't like what I believe in, doesn't mean we have to exactly hate each other, and I think that's the whole vision of the Purple Party. People, I don't know if people thought, this was some political stunt or political gain or anything like that. It's not what this is whatsoever.
No. And there will be, and like Matt said, in the next episode, there will be a little bit more political maneuvering, but I think that the idea is that what we're trying to show is that we're all moving forward as being purple, but it's also important to show that, yes, the characters in the show do have it's important that we remind people that, it's not like we're all just everything's okay. Yeah, people do have different opinions, and It is difficult, but we're going to be always focusing on how we can positively deal with that. You know what I mean? We're not going to be getting into the fights and getting negative. We're always going to figure out how we can get through that. You know, that's what the show's about. Dude, Matt, I love you, buddy. And if you want to make any closing remarks, do it, man. And I'll probably let you go, and then I'm going to tell a little story that Donna wanted and call it a day. It's been really great talking to you, man. I hope that you'll be up. We can think of other topics and stuff, and I hope that, you'll keep visiting on the live stream, dude, because I love you, and I love working with you on the Purple Party, bud. You're such a great guy,
it's
man.
It's so enjoyable to do it with you, man. I love you like a brother, man. It's great to have met you, have you in my life, man. I really appreciate it. To anybody out there listening, my name is Matt Wetzel. If y'all ever need a new friend or just need somebody to talk to, look me up on Facebook, Matt Wetzel. I got a picture of me holding a leg lamp. Can't miss me. Big old fat guy holding a leg lamp.
And that's a great thing to say, Matt. And let me
ever is feeling very low, and I mean this with the sincerest of heart, because I will admit this. I have called the suicide hotline for myself. It's 1-800-273-8255. Don't ever be afraid to call that number.
Yeah, and
there is no shame in that.
There is absolutely no shame, and that goes for everybody. Matt's reaching out and ready to get into the profession, but that's true about the Purple organization. Like, we are here to make things better. We may not be mental health professionals, but we are definitely here to try and help the world be a better place. And if you're interested in getting more involved with it, just start watching the live stream, start making comments. And this is something we're gonna build one grain at a time, Matt. So I'm gonna let you go, buddy, and I'm gonna tell a little fun story to wrap this sucker up, and then I'm gonna start. I got lots of work to do on the show this week, and I'm sure you do too, man. So how does the shark go?
By the way, you still have to send me the updated script. You never sent that.
I didn't? Wait, I thought I did. All right, well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
No,
I'll call you. Well, I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'll get a hold of you, and we'll talk about that, because I thought I did. I might not have sent it right, but I got it already, dude. So let's talk in a little bit. You be good, buddy. Okay?
All right, bro. Hey, love you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, bud. You take care now, okay? Oh, man, I love that guy. He is a wonderful guy. So if you're on Facebook and you're wondering who Matt Wetzel is, you definitely give him a friend request. He is a very, very good man, and I'm lucky to know him. So we'll finish up. This has been a good live stream. It's been a lot of fun. But I'm going to finish up with a quick story, because my friend Donna Woods, who has always been one of my biggest fans. She wanted to hear the story about how I lost my passport in Mexico. Now I'm gonna tell a brief version of this story. But I was in old Mexico, and I was in love with a beautiful woman. Her name was Sophia. And, I arrived in this tiny little beach town called Zipolite. They had no police, no infrastructure. It was sort of an exercise in anarchy. It was a nude beach, and it was not unusual to watch people copulating on the beach. It was a very, very wild place. And, that was the kind of thing I was interested in. But I wasn't interested really in copulating on the beach. I was more of a romantic guy, so I fell in love with Sophia. And she was a Mexican woman who had been there for many years. And I didn't know much about what was really going on about all that. I just knew I was in love with Sophia. In love with Sophia. When old Matt gets in love with a woman, he doesn't think about much. So I went up and I moved in with Sophia, who is one of the most beautiful women on this island. And one day I was walking down through this little tiny Mexican beach village. It smelled like fish guts, and there were flies, all over the tomatoes, and a little boy who's barefoot running across the dusty street. Then this man came up to me and he said, "Nice backpack." It's kind of a weird thing for one guy to say to another guy, especially because my backpack was old and ripped and torn and looked like I'd been traveling for a million years. And he said, yeah, I had a backpack like that. But a few weeks after I got here, somebody stole it. And you know, sometimes when somebody tells you a little story, but the story is really them just telling you that that's what's going to happen to you, well, that's what this was kind of like. So, what I didn't know was that Sophia was a very popular woman. It wasn't like she had lots of different boyfriends or anything. She was in love with me too, and we had a very nice romance. But what I did know is that there were a lot of guys in this beach that also wanted to be in this position, you know? So I'm there, you know, sitting back in a hammock, you know, getting massages and drinking cold Coronas here with the beautiful lady, and I go up to my room, and one day, and my backpack's gone. So I just started to go crazy, man. You want to talk about going crazy? Oh, man. I was bugging myself like this. I said, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to leave now, because I wasn't upset about my backpack. I was upset about my passport, which was in my backpack. I know it was stupid to put my passport in my backpack, but I'm stupid, okay? So my passport was gone. And Sophia looked at me and she said, don't worry. Lots of the people on this beach don't have passports. They just come down here and they stay forever and they never go home. And I thought, well, wait a minute. Mom wouldn't like that. My brother wouldn't like that. My niece and my nephew wouldn't like that. Do I really want to stay in a tiny little scary Mexican beach town for the rest of my life with a beautiful woman up on top of a cliff overlooking the sea? Maybe. But not without a passport. So I just decided, that's it, man. I'm leaving. I am leaving you, Sophia. I don't care. I care more about a little blue book full of stamps and paper than you. I mean, it sucks to lose your passport when you're abroad, man. I didn't have any money, man. I had 200 pesos wadded up in a sock in the bottom of my tent, you know. And so Sophia, realizing that she was going to lose her little gringo sweetheart, she started walking around into this little Mexican beach town. Now, let me tell you, this place was intense. There, being a thief was actually a legitimate profession, you know, just like there was the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and the thief. So it wasn't hard to know who stole things, because the thieves were just like, it would just be like, you know, if you want to buy one of those tomatoes with the flies, you go down to the store. If you want to know who stole something, you just go over to the thief's house and ask them. So Sophia went to do that. She walked and she talked to the robbers in town and said, please return my boyfriend's passport, please. I don't know if she cried, but she asked for me, and Sophia had a fair amount of pull. So I got ready. I started packing all my stuff, and I was gonna just walk out of town with long hair and all sunburnt and drunk and angry. But then there was good news. My passport had been found. I said, really? It got found? Yeah, it got found. Now, there was a little place right next to where Sophia was, and that's where Carlos worked and lived. And see, Carlos really liked Sophia. So where did my passport end up? Well, somehow it ended up in the trash at Carlos's hotel. Really? So talk about awkward, man. I walk over to this hotel, and here's this guy, Carlos, this Mexican man, who really doesn't like me and really wants to be with Sophia, but he's been under pressure from the local robbers to tell about this, and so he pulls my passport out of the trash and he hands it to me, and it was, it had a little bit of salsa and maybe some of that fresh cream and stuff or something like that, and I had my passport back, and he looked at me, he said, "You should be very careful in Mexico." And I looked at him and I said, I can't be careful. No. Yeah, there was a lot, but anyway, that was one of my little stories. But guys, this has been a lot of fun, and it's a work in progress. The stream worked well, and I really appreciate you watching. The Purple Party coming up at the beginning of June, the first Tuesday in June, is going to be really exciting. I got lots of plans. I'm going to be shooting it all week, and I'll be back next Tuesday. Don't forget, if you want to take control of this live stream, you can. All you have to do is maybe send a message to steadymat.com, or if you want to message me on Facebook or leave a message on YouTube. I'm looking for the ideas on this to come from you, although it's not required at all. So I hope you're going to have a great week, and stay purple, and try to bring some goodness into this world. And I really, really look forward to seeing you next time. So I'm just gonna get ready. Where's my little thing I'm gonna wave bye-bye and say I really look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, and thank you for watching.